Hello, everyone, and welcome back. My name is Corey, and you're my rubber ducks for the evening. And this is the series of episodes where we are writing a programming language from scratch using nothing but our basic skills, hopefully a little bit more than basic, but using basic tools like Flex, Bison, ICU, Google Test, Vim as our editor, and a terminal window and modernish C++. And this is a live coding video. That is, I do everything on screen, all my mistakes, all my figuring it out. There's nothing up my sleeves. I don't have anything pre-prepared. And the goal is, I want you to see the creation of a non-trivial, larger project from start to finish. And I'm recording this as a series of episodes. All right, so we are on episode number 66, and we're going to have to undo some of the stuff I did last time because I made a mistake. So at the end of each episode, I always try to make sure I'm at a stable place. That is, I want all of the code compiling, all of my tests passing, and hopefully the feature is completed, whatever I was working on. And we actually got there. The previous episode, we had added the idea of a context, and we put a lot of things into that context. And I think I called this episode, Taking Things Out of Context, because it's not that it's bad that some of the things are in the context, they just don't need to be in the context object that we are using. So, bigger picture, when you have a script and it is compiled into a program, that is that you should be able to execute it, and we use a context to store all the information about that particular execution. And I put a lot of things in there. There's a few things that don't need to be in there, and so they can just be, and we'll move them out. So that's what we're going to be doing. Before we start, let's go back to our code, and we were on the right-hand side. Do our make clean, and then make test watch, and so that will get started. On the left-hand side, on the other side, from your perspective, it's on that side. We will, show our git log. The very last thing that we committed was the end of the previous episode, episode 67, and so I guess this is episode 68, yeah. And let's also see git status, and yeah, nothing out of the ordinary. So what are we going to have to do? We're going to have to start off with our include for our context, our source for our context, and then our source for our program execute. And you can see on the right hand side, that is this side, all of our tests are passing, so that's always a good place to start. And right here, we're going to look and see what we can bring out of the context. And the map is going to stay there, so that can be left in there. The output obviously can be left. The computed expression out can be left. That will assemble the string that we can then at one time convert it all into the output. But right here, the program counter, the frame pointer, the stack, the PC stack, and the FP stack, I put these in thinking that they were originally in the program object, and they were not. I noticed it the moment I stopped recording and I went back through and I was just doing a cursory, do I need to do any editing to the file, to the video? And I was like, wait, why did I move these in here? They were on the stack in the execution. So in fact, here, I guess it's number 3. When we were right here, when calling execute, these were variables that were defined right there. And yeah, I pulled them out and put them in the context. So we're going to undo that change. There were other things that we did in the previous episode that we did need, so it doesn't bother me. It's just I'm like, why did I make that mistake? So, let's see, is there anything? Nope. Okay. Sorry. Now I'm back. Let's see. What's the quickest way of doing this? I'm gonna just start right here. and yank. Nope, I'm not going to yank. I'm going to delete 26. And now, put them right there. And of course that means all of my spacing is wrong. And I don't want these double. In fact, there. Just there we go. And we now need to undo all of the places where we said context dot. So %s, and if we have context dot stack, it just needs to become stack. We'll do the same thing with context.pc, just needs to become PC. We'll do the same thing with context.fp, just should be FP. And is that everything? Let's see, shall we? Everything's passing. Okay, that was a simple change. So, yeah, actually, you know me. I never trust this. Let's run the just to make sure. I'm not doing it on the watch. I'm just having it do that and check our diff. Remove stuff from context. It's like, why did this change? Because PC, we had it as context.pc. Anyway. Yeah, and this is just all of those exact same places. Or, I mean, where we changed them last time, so this is probably going to be around 300 lines or so, because that's how many changed in our refactor of last time. Close to that. Was it 315 or something? I'm not saying they didn't all need to change, but oh well. So commit-am remove execution variables from context and put them in program.execute function stack. There. 299 deletions. Yeah, okay. But it's working. Okay, so I'll leave it back on the watch. And so now that that's fixed, the next thing I want to do is, like I said, this was called taking things out of context. And where's my Vim? We're going to edit the test file first. And the reason is because we want to just copied a lot of stuff. There. We want to be able to provide information to the context or data to the context that it will then use. But we don't want to have to go back and break everything that we've done. And so what we're going to do is, first of all, finish the copy. I took a guess at how many lines. There we go. All right. So what we want to do is to say, to provide, is this going to have a type? Well, for right now, it's going to be a standard map of string to Annie. Why am I doing a map? I mean standard. There. To Annie. And we're just going to call it data. And we're going to pass in data. And so we want our execute function to be able to accept this data. Okay. And what are we going to put in it? Well, we can put in a pair that is foo. Actually, I guess it's like this. 3. And the whole point is we're going to print out that 3. At least that's what we're about to do. Okay, so saying we don't have any way to access the native function yet. That's fine. Go. I want that to be P1 because that's what I normally use. So P1. And this we can get rid of all of that. And now our custom function is going to be different. So our custom function, it's not going to take anything, but all it's going to do is it's going to you know what? Before, what did we call it? Custom underscore function. So let's use that instead of foo. Custom function, and I want to specify for sure that it is an int 3. Why? Because what this should do is it should say, okay, well, what's the value type if it is an int? The count is going to be that, and then we return. Okay, so it should print out a 4. That's what we think is going to happen. And the whole point is that we're injecting data. So this is no longer the native function. This is the context, and we are, that's fine, I'll leave it as general. Of course, it's not going to like this because it's going to say, well, we don't know what to do with this data that you're giving us. So, So we're going to edit the include for program.hpp. And where's execute? There we go. And it's going to take in, I want to give this a type. I think I would rather call this maybe context data. And just give it a default value. Okay. I was going to say it doesn't know what context data is. Are we pound including macro? No. Let's do that. And, oh, is it macros? Okay. And now let's edit our include macros. And got our native function, native bound function map. And now we're going to create our context data is a standard map of a standard string to any. And in order to get that, we're going to need to do pound include any. That should be fine. And give it some help text. So this will be used to hold arbitrary data which should be made available to a program when it is, or during the program execution. Okay, I think I like that. And, oh, we need standard any. That's fine. Standard any. And now, for this here, context data, there's a reason I'm doing it like this. By the way, this isn't going to work yet. And in fact, this should be a 4. And there we go. And we're going to context data. I'm going to make it an ampersand. Do I want to do that? Yeah. And so let's go back to the program.hp. Yeah. Context data. There we are. Data. And that is going to be execution context. All right, and well, I know what the error is. So I mean, let's look at it. What it's saying. So cannot bind a non-const L value reference, and that's this. It's a non-const, but it's an L value reference. Blah blah blah, to an R value. Just trying to think of the best way to get around this at the moment. It's going to complain now because I don't have a double ampersand. I need to put a double ampersand here. Unused parameter data, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Where's context? And I can provide it with data. And I can even, use move. And of course it's going to complain because I don't have a constructor that takes that for context. So edit our include. Oh wait, do I already have it? Yep. To context, and do we have macros? No, we do not. Found include macros.hpp, and now in the constructor we will do a context data double ampersand data. It says, but we don't know how to do this. Okay, so context data double ampersand data, and what am I messing up? Oh. And I may have these in the wrong order. Yep, I do. Let's see what happens. So now it doesn't like the binding of the R value because data is not, I mean, it's an L value. You know what? I think I'm okay with that. Let's do this. So instead of this, let's do need one more set of braces. I think. We'll find out soon enough. Yes. I only wanted one. But you know what? I'll leave it just 4, 5, 6. Because if you notice, it worked. That is, so my program was just print A, print A, print A. And we are basically seeding it with the value of 3. So the next time it calls A, it gets a 4. 4, then 5, then 6. Yeah. So let's see. Does all of our other comments make sense? Should I separate this even though I'm using the exact same? Yeah, but the point of this is that it wasn't that it was a native function test, or excuse me, the top one is testing native functions, and now we're just using a native function to test whether or not our context works. And, by the way, I'm just going to say this would have worked as well if I had done it this way. If I had said, so context data, there we go, and I did, so it doesn't like if I had done this, okay? Doesn't like this, but if I had done move data, it's just fine. So the big picture, why do I want to do it this way? It's because I want, but do I want to? That's the question. I like being able to take data. The problem is I have not done a lot with perfect forwarding, and I want it to be able to take either. And so if I look at number 5, I don't think I can do, well, I can. I'm wondering if it will allow me to do that. I think it's still going to give me an error because I haven't updated the .cpp version. Yeah, okay. Will this work? Just going up to the top. I know all of these are the same, aren't they? Probably. I just want to make sure that there's not another one. Okay. Let's go down to the bottom. Oh. No matching function for call to program execute without anything. The candidate is it's a deduction error. Okay, you know what? Fine. We will do because I still want the execute by itself. Let's just not do the double there. Return the execution context, and we'll say or do I want to say it there? For the well, yeah, for the execution. Sure, why not? Okay. Now we just need see if this will work. Really? Like I said, I haven't worked with perfect forwarding. So I'm going off of memory and I don't think it's working. And that's when it doesn't like it. Because it doesn't know what this is. I'm going to look this up. Sorry, you're along for the ride here. Oh, it's got to be a template function. I don't like that. Because I don't want to put all of this, because if it's a template function, It requires all of that be moved into. Yeah. That's bad. So here's the stuff. This is going to take more time than I think that I have. And I don't like that, but... So, okay, back to the drawing board. I'm going to leave it there. And why do I want it in this format? Well, because oh wait, but I don't think it's liking this part. You know what? I'm not doing this. Vim redo hotkey. Control R. Finally. Okay. I'll leave that and there we go. And this should be a context data. We'll see. So, get back to the question. Why am I doing it this way? Because it's going to get heavy if I have to copy the data object. So I want to be able to move it. And now it's saying, oh, because I've got this forward. Move should be fine. Oh, yeah. No, this is giving me the error because I'm doing data. So, right here, if I did move data, it should compile just fine. But I don't want to have to copy that. And quite frankly, since I'm returning the context and the context is going to have the data in it, that That should be fine. Yeah. Okay. But I'm going back to this form. Everything should still pass. And it does. Okay. So what do we get out of this? Well, we now have a way of setting our context data, and we can tell that by, no. What happens if we make this a -3? We're going to get -2, -1, 0. Yeah. Let's do that. So we get -3, -2, -1. I like that better anyway. But I'm happy with this. And until I can figure out a better way, I just don't want to have to copy the data thing, the data container. All right, so make sure everything is in order. Yep, we're good. No. To provide default context data when initiating a program dot execute. That's fine. And now there's one last thing I want to look at. And I want to see what happens. Oh, all right, include. For the context data, let's go back to my window. Unordered map. And it's in the header unordered map. And what I'm wondering is unordered map, blah, blah, blah. If this is going to work. Because generally speaking, unordered maps are faster than maps, which are ordered. And I don't think I need ordered maps for this. Maybe I do. Oh, context.cpp. Because I bet in context.cpp. Okay, so edit our include for context, our data, there, should be listed as context data. Let's see, we were not practicing good hygiene. And if this is the case, I'm thinking that I'll probably be, I'll end up changing a lot of different maps to unordered maps. And time is up there. Yeah, it's B1. Okay. Let's put it back as a map. Sorry, I know this is a long compile, just like it's saying 6 milliseconds, and I thought we were right at 5 earlier. So let's see. By the way, other things. I want to really do a revamp of how we use strings, because we're using strings everywhere. We should probably be using string views. And it's just we've got to make sure that there's a way of ensuring that the strings don't disappear. And so we may have to store them in the program object. But then it should be safe to use string views for all the computed stuff. No, it's still 6. Okay, I'm going back to the unordered map for this. That's the only differences. Okay. Just make sure all the tests pass. Yep, everything's passing. There, we got it. We got it switched. And now, let's wrap this up. So we'll update all of our documentation. So much stuff. Okay. Not get push. Well. For episode... Anybody? 68. Episode 68. Pushing a lot of stuff. Yeah. All right, it is all there, and here's our counts. We've got 9,600 lines and 3,200 lines of comments, and we are at a stable place. We've brought some things out of context, so taking them out of context. I think that's what I call this. So that should help us a little bit with our efficiency, and I think we've got a little bit better structure to the code, and we've got the ability to provide default data when we are running an execution, and we didn't break any of our old stuff, so that's it's a big thing at this point. Let's see, is there anything else? So going forward, I really want to be looking at you know what, our source, not our source, include Tang, there we go, and So we don't have percent encoding, but in our for strings we do have HTML encoding. I don't think we need these different types of printing now. We've got that, the ability to basically, I use the word raw, but I was thinking trusted versus untrusted. So I don't think we need that. I don't think we need any of these. A default print, yes. What to do in combining strings, we fixed that. Oh my goodness, we've done all that. Location tracking for bytecode and error reporting, haven't done that. We don't have our use syntax to import libraries. Do we have native functions? Yes, we do. As Tang version, I was going to provide that, but that will be part of our use syntax. In execution context, we've got that. We don't have template scanning, so that's a feature we could add. A library extension. We don't have a math library, that would be good. A date time. An execution count, we don't have that. Don't have our standalone. We could do our optimizations, potential tail call optimizations. I'm really looking forward to getting that done. But you know what? That's a lot. And I'm just gonna, I know I'm not pushing it yet. Well, I'll go ahead and push it, even though it's not, it'll be at the beginning of the next episode. But no, git commit, and we will say update master to-do list by removing completed features, if we can consider them completed. Remove 10 lines though. That's pretty good. I'm happy about that. All right, so now we've got a good place we can stop. And yeah, so looking at this to-do list, still have quite a few things that we can add to the language, but at this point, feeling pretty good about where it is. Thank you as always for joining, and yeah, hope it's been good for you. Thank you. Bye.